Are you a high-achieving entrepreneur? Maybe you're even a busy parent and you've let yourself go. You're overweight, you're out of shape, you don't have that confidence within your body that you once had. But you want to get back into shape, you want to lose that stubborn belly fat, and you want to feel strong, calm, comfortable, and confident in your body. If this is the case, today I'm going to show you an incredibly simple tool that helps you get into your body and develop that strength and confidence. And these things have been an absolute game changer on my journey. Let me show you what they are. Gymnastic rings. These are such a simple, inexpensive, yet powerful tool that are perfect for the complete beginner, even as someone that is more advanced. Okay, these are so scalable, these are cheap, these are the only piece of equipment that you need, and a positive attitude. Here I am in the great outdoors, in the land down under, and it is a freaking gift to be alive. I believe these bodies that we have are an absolute gift that we get to move in. And movement I see as a form of art, as a form of expression. But if we feel uncomfortable and disconnected from our bodies, then we're probably not going to want to express our bodies and show off our bodies. So now I'm going to show you an incredibly simple workout using the gymnastic rings so that you can build strength and flexibility anywhere in the world using just your body weight. And this is going to be scalable from the complete beginner to someone that is more advanced. So let's freaking dive in. So one of the first things that I absolutely love about these rings are how simple and easy they are to set up. All you need is these two straps, and you just throw them over an anchor point. Throw them over an anchor point. Make sure it's strong and stable, strong enough to hold your body weight. And then all we've got to do now is literally connect the rings. I picked these gymnastic rings up on Amazon when I was in Austin, Texas in the US. And I've been carrying these around with me all throughout the globe, all over the world, literally for the last 2.5 years. They've come with me to Costa Rica, they've come with me to Spain and Portugal and London. So once you've thrown these straps over an anchor point that's strong enough to hold your body weight, you just loop the hoops through. It is freaking simple. Here's how it's done. Loop it through, and then we're gonna tie it off. Loop the strap through this little buckle here, and tie it off. Now in a moment, I'm gonna show you what heights I like to use the rings at for different exercises so that this all makes sense for you. So as you can see, these rings are incredibly simple to set up, super easy, and they're also super easy to take down as well. You can put them in a backpack, you can carry them anywhere. I'll put a link in the show notes in the description to the gymnastic rings that I bought on Amazon. I'm pretty sure they were like $40 or $50 Australian, pretty inexpensive, these gymnastic rings. So now that I've got them set up, as you can see, they're nice and sturdy, they're not gonna go anywhere. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set the height at a good height for me. So there's a special way that I love to train with the gymnastic rings that saves me time and also helps me build more strength and flexibility at the exact same time. And this is by supersetting exercises. So for example, I typically will always start off my movement session with a vertical pull. So either a chin up or a pull up, and I'll superset that with a vertical push, for example, a dip. And this is what I encourage you to do as well. So I'm gonna show you what this looks like, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit about why we do this first of all. So I'm gonna show you how you can do this as a complete beginner, and then how you can scale this to intermediate and advanced. First of all, I wanna tell you why I love supersets. First of all, it obviously saves you a bunch of time. And second of all, it is really important for your posture and your alignment to have a nice balance of pulling exercises and pushing exercises. And as a rule of thumb, what I would encourage you to consider is to do probably 1.5 times more pulling exercises, because the thing is, most of us human beings are pushing, and most of us are very rounded and hunched over. So I'm going to show you exactly how you can get started as a complete beginner, and then how you can scale it to more intermediate and advanced levels. First of all, you might be wondering, why would we use supersets? And I'll tell you why. Not only does it save you a bunch of time, it actually helps you build more strength and flexibility. And when it comes to your physical training, it is really important to balance your opposing muscle groups. So what I would suggest as a rule of thumb is to do a little bit more pulling exercises than pushing exercises. Or what you can do is you can prioritize your pulling exercises. So that's why I always start off with pulling, because I'm stronger then, and then I progress to the pushing exercises, and I alternate like that right the way through. And the reason that I do this is because I used to be very hunched over and rounded in, and I was very tight through the front of my body. And I believe that probably 90% of us human beings are very rounded inwards. And so it's the muscles that we can't see, our posterior chain, our back muscles, our glutes, our hamstrings, they are what pull everything back and keep us in this good posture, keep everything nice and aligned. So this is why it's a good rule of thumb to focus on more pulling than pushing. But of course, if you're more in this position where you're really pulled back, then you can incorporate a little bit more pushing. So to begin, I'm gonna set the rings up as high as they will go so that we can do some vertical pulling to kick us off. Let's go. So the simplest way to move the rings is to just pull and push, pull and push, pull and push, pull and push. And as you may be able to see, this beam that I'm hanging the rings off is on a little bit of an angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to adjust them and make them as even as possible, and that's going to be good enough. All right, team, I've just brewed myself a fresh cup of coffee. Nice, organic, roasted coffee, bit of organic coconut milk. Cheers to that. All right, so now gymnastic rings are hung up. We are ready to go. So as a complete beginner, the best place to start is simply hanging off the gymnastic rings. And for many of you, this may be actually really challenging, which is fantastic. And let me give you a quick insight to the benefits of hanging. So first of all, you open up the chest and the shoulders. For most of us human beings, our shoulders and our chest are super tight. Everything's rounded in. So simply hanging is going to help open up and start to lengthen the muscle fibers in your chest and in your shoulders. Second of all, what this is going to do is it's going to decompress your spine. If you've been sitting at a desk all day or you've been sitting in the car, not only are your hips getting super tight, but also your lower back is being compressed, your spine is being compressed. One of the other many benefits of hanging is that it builds up your forearm strength, your grip strength, and it also helps protect your wrists as well. So again, if you've been typing and texting all day long, this is going to be a nice way to open everything up and also build some strength in your body. So as a complete beginner, I challenge you to start hanging from the rings for 3 rounds of 15 to 30 seconds. See how long you can go for. It's probably going to burn up your forearms, but it's also going to really open up the chest and the shoulders. This is going to start to help strengthen and mobilize your shoulders, and it's also going to decompress the spine. It's going to be a real benefit to you if you feel uncomfortable in your body as well. If you experience any pain, just drop down. You don't want to train through pain. Let's keep this super simple. So as a beginner, my challenge to you is to hang. Let those shoulders come up to the ears. Let your pelvis relax. Let your hips relax. Let your butt relax. So this is a great way to start as a complete beginner, just hanging from the rings. And then as you become more of an intermediate, what you can start to do is you can start to strengthen your shoulder blades by pulling your shoulders back away from the ears. And it's like your chest is going to be pulled up towards the gymnastic rings. And what this is going to do is it's going to strengthen your shoulder blades, the muscles between your shoulder blades. And this is going to help you eventually come into a pull-up and a chin-up. So from this hanging position, you just start to pull the shoulders down away from the ears and relax. Pull the shoulders down away from the ears and relax. You can think about keeping your arms completely straight and think about pulling your shoulder blades back towards your back pockets. Relax. Straighten, pull the shoulders back and relax. When you become more confident as a beginner just hanging from the rings, then you can start to incorporate what are called scapular pulls. And that is essentially where you're going from this straight arm position and you're pulling the shoulder blade back and down, back towards your back pockets. And what this is going to do is it's going to strengthen the muscles in your shoulder blades, your scapula, and this is eventually going to carry over into your pull-ups and your chin-ups. And this is really, really powerful to build strong shoulders, strong pain-free shoulders. All begin with a strong foundation, and that is your ability to hang, that is your ability to pull your shoulder blade back and down, and then to get the elbow back behind the body to really engage the lats. So this is for the intermediate. Go through the scapular pulls, see if you can do 10 reps for 3 sets. That is a really good place to get to. And now what I'm going to show you is the more advanced pulling exercise, the pull-up and the chin-up. So this is how to perform the pull-up and the chin-up. You want to start in this dead hang position where the shoulder blades are elevated up near the ears. And then, like I showed you with the scapular pull, you're going to pull the shoulder blades down and away from the ears towards your back pockets, and then you're going to bring the elbows back towards your hips. And this right here is a full range pull-up. So, from this dead hang position, pulling the shoulder blades back and down, and then pulling the elbows towards the hips, back down into that relaxed position. So, as you become more intermediate and advanced, you can start to really strengthen up your pull-ups, your chin-ups, and this is going to help you build that nice, strong, muscly back. And the pull-up, the chin-up, is basically a full body exercise because you need to brace the core, you need to brace your body to create that stability. So what I'm going to share with you now is a really quick breathing tip when it comes to using the gymnastic rings. So as a rule of thumb, if I'm pulling towards me, I'm going to breathe out, I'm going to exhale. Ready? And then I'm going to inhale as I come down. Think of your inhale as what stabilizes your body. Think of your core, your belly, as a big weight belt that tightens everything up, that connects the upper extremities, the upper body, and the lower extremities, the lower body. Your core is what tightens and stabilizes everything. And the way you tap into your core is by using your breath. So taking a deep breath in through the nose, stabilize the core, and as you pull, you can exhale. And that's another tip there. When you exhale, rather than just think about exhaling through pursed lips, kind of like you're blowing raspberries. So it's rather than just. This is a really nice way to let go of your air and to keep this stability. So again, just to go through that, think about inhaling to stabilize the body. Take a breath in, and then exhale as you pull up. Take a breath in, inhale through the nose into the belly to tighten up the body at the bottom of the rep. And exhale as you get to the top of the rep, as you're pulling through that rep. So this is our first movement pattern, the vertical pull, where as a beginner we start with the dead hang, as an intermediate we start with the scapular pulls, and then as a more advanced trainer we focus on the pull-ups and the chin-ups. So wherever you are on your journey right now is absolutely perfect. Just make sure that you're getting in those reps so that you're scaling from beginner to intermediate to advanced. You got this. Now let's get to the vertical push. So as you can see, now I've set the rings up to about in line with my chest. So this is a good height for me to be able to get a full range dip. So again, I'm going to show you to begin with how I would use this as a beginner, and then intermediate, and then advanced. So as a complete beginner, and even this in itself may be super challenging. So if it is too challenging for you, what I encourage you to do is to bring the rings down further so that your feet can still be on the ground, so that you're not using all of your body weight. But if you do have the strength, this is a good place to start. You want to get the rings nice and close to your body. This is a good thing to be mindful of, is that you want the rings to be as close to your body at all times, because this is where you're going to be stable, this is where you're going to be strong. As soon as you come out here, you're going to be very weak, and you're going to be much more prone to injury if you're way further out. So bringing the rings nice and close to the body. As a beginner, this is where I would like to see you begin. Pressing away. And now you want to find your center. You want to try and create some stability. And the way to create stability is to point your toes and squeeze all of the muscles in your body. Okay, so as you can see right now, my shoulders are bunched up near my ears. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push my shoulders away from my ears, and I'm going to externally rotate my shoulders. I'll show you what that looks like now. So pushing the shoulders away from the ears, and I'm externally rotating my shoulders. So, as you can see, I'm a bit wobbly. You will likely be quite wobbly too. However, what I challenge you to do as a beginner is to stabilize your body, is to push those shoulders away from the ears, rotate the shoulders out, and see if you can do 3 rounds of 10-second holds. If you can do that, you're pretty damn strong. And if you can't, that's totally cool. If you need to bring the rings down so that you still have your feet on the ground, so that way you're not using your full body weight, this is also still going to help you get some good gains. So that's where I would start if I was a total beginner. And now, if I was more intermediate, this is what I would do. So for the intermediates out there, what I want you to do, similar to the way that I showed you as the beginners, push the shoulders away from the ears and externally rotate them. But what I want you to do is come down and push away. Come down, push away. Keeping the arms straight, just sinking the shoulders down and pushing them away into that externally rotated position. And you can slowly start to increase the amount of range that you're going through. So This is for the intermediate. You can start to move through a full range of motion using your shoulder blades, keeping that arm straight and pushing the shoulders away from the ears, sinking them down, pushing them away from the ears and externally rotating them. This is a good place for the vertical push as an intermediate. This is a really good place to be. Now I'm going to show you the more advanced movement for the vertical push. Now for someone that's ready to progress to the more advanced movement with the vertical push, that is where we'll start to use dips. So to perform the dip, let's push the shoulders away from the ears, rotate the shoulders, and then what we want to do is want to keep the elbows really close to the body and come down into the dip and push away. Come down. Keeping those elbows close to the body and push away. So the key here is to keep everything slow and tight and controlled. This way you'll be far more stable, it'll be far safer, and you'll get way more gains as well. I can already feel my chest and my shoulders lighting up just from that alone. So if I was more advanced, I'd focus on 3 rounds of 10 full range dips. And the key here is to use a full range of motion, because what this is going to do is it's going to lengthen everything and it's going to allow you to get strong through all ranges of motion. If you're only training through a really short range of motion, you're going to get tight, you're going to get stiff, and your body is not going to function optimally either. I used to be a big bodybuilder. I used to spend hours in the gym every single day, pushing weights, using the machines, just from here to there, really mindlessly. And I didn't realize that I had such a powerful and capable body that could move in so many different ways. And that is one of the other things that I love about the gymnastic rings, is they allow you to get through a full range of motion. So I'm going to show you what a half range of motion looks like, and then I'll show you what a full range looks like. So when it comes to the dips, this is, like a half range of motion. And then this is like a 3/4 range of motion. And then this is a full range of motion. A full range of motion is going to be way more challenging, but it's going to be way more beneficial for your strength and flexibility. Now that we've done a vertical pull and a vertical press, we're going to get into some horizontal movements. First of all, the horizontal row, the bodyweight row, and then the horizontal push-up, the bodyweight push-up. I'm going to show you what those look like now. Now, for the horizontal pull, I've set the rings up in line with my hips. And the goal here with the bodyweight row is to bring the elbow back behind the body, back towards the hips. And what this is going to do is it's going to activate your lats, the big muscles that you can't see, your big back muscles. And these are really good to help keep that proud chest, that open posture. And these are going to help keep everything nice and aligned. So to begin with, I'm going to show you how to start as a basic beginner and then to slowly crank it up into the more advanced movement. So to begin, as a beginner, just walk your feet forward and then sink back down towards the ground. Now, let your arms relax. Brace your core. You want to squeeze your lower body. This is going to keep everything nice and stable. Then you want to think about bringing the elbows back behind the body. This is going to help activate your back, keep everything nice and tight, like so. One of the other things that I really love about the gymnastic rings is that you can make it easier or harder depending on where you're at in your journey. So the closer you are to the gymnastic rings, the more vertical and upright you are, the easier it is going to be for you. The more in control and more stable you're going to be, because the lever length is going to be shorter. Whereas on the other hand, the further away that you are from the gymnastic rings, the harder it is going to be. So, for example, if you're struggling with a bodyweight row, just walk your feet further up so that you're more upright. And this is going to help you achieve a row far easier. So I'll show you what that looks like. If, for example, it was too challenging for you to get a row all the way from down here, if this was too difficult for you, what you could do is you could walk your feet up so that you're more upright. And now that you're more upright, you're in this position, this is going to make it far easier for you because you're closer to the rings, the lever length is shorter, and you're going to be stronger here. And it's going to be way easier for you. So, if it's too hard for you, just continue to walk your feet up until you can get a proper rep like so. So again, with the ring rows, think about bringing the elbows back behind the body. Think about bringing the bottom of the ring towards your chest. So if you're a beginner, I would suggest starting in this more upright position. And the more advanced that you become, the further you can walk your feet away. And this is going to make it harder. Alright, this is going to make it more difficult. The bodyweight row, it's really simple to scale. It just depends on where you're at. If you want to make it easier, stand more upright. If you want to make it harder, go a bit lower towards the ground. Now the next exercise I have to show you with the bodyweight rings is a horizontal push. So this is essentially a push-up, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So I'm going to set the rings up at about my knee height, quite low to the ground, and just by simply pulling them down towards about my knees, like so, I'm going to make sure they're nice and even, which they pretty much are. And so, as a complete beginner, what I would encourage you to do is to get strong in this position, this kind of high plank position. And think about, rather than having your shoulders sinking down and having them bunched up near your ears, think about pushing the shoulders away. And think about bracing the core and squeezing the glutes. And this is going to create a nice strong bridge position. Whenever you're doing any movements, you want to think about hollowing your rib cage out. You want to think about bringing your ribs down and squeezing your glutes so that you have this nice strong hollow body position. This is going to keep everything nice and strong and stable. So for the horizontal push, this is where I would begin as a complete beginner. Then if you want to progress to the intermediate, then we can do some scapular pushes. So think about pulling the shoulders back and pushing them away. Back, pushing them away. Keep a straight arm, pull the shoulders back and push them away. And push them away. And then when you're ready to progress to the more advanced movement, then we can go through a push-up. So that's where we're bending the elbow and we're pushing away. Pushing away. Keeping that core engaged, keeping everything nice and tight. Keeping those elbows nice and close to the body. Push away. Push away. Push away. This is the horizontal push, and this basically wraps up all of the upper body exercises that I'm going to show you. Now I want to show you a simple lower body movement that you can use using the rings. Let's go. For this lower body exercise that I'm going to show you using the rings, I'm going to set the rings up kind of below my chest height, and then I'm going to show you the exercise. Now I've set the rings up a little bit below my chest, and now what I'm going to show you is a single leg squat. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on one leg. We have the rings here for support, for balance. So you can hold on to these as much as you want. The more that you hold on to these and use your upper body, the less weight you're going to use in your legs. So as you progress, as you get stronger, try to use the rings less and less. For the single leg squat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk back a little bit until I've got some tension in the rings. And now I'm in a good position to drop down into my squat. So the opposite leg that's not touching the ground, I'm going to straighten that out. And then with the working leg, the leg that I'm balancing on right now, I'm going to bring my butt down towards the ground. I'm going to bend my knee. I'm going to come to the bottom here, and then I'm going to push away. I'm going to come down, and I'm going to push away. I'm going to come down, and I'm going to push away. So think about trying to keep everything nice and tight so that you're really strong and stable. And what you can do, if this is too hard, is you can just balance on one leg, and you can slowly work through a range of motion that is comfortable for you. There's no right or wrong way, so you can get as strong as you want. The deeper that you can go, the stronger you're going to become. Once you do 10 reps on one side, swap over and do the same on the opposite leg. Coming down, under control, coming up. And again, these rings are going to support you. Alright, these rings are going to help you. You don't need to be afraid. Alright, this is a nice little way to really build up the legs, to build strength and stability within your legs. Now the final exercise I want to show you is for the core, to build up those chiseled frickin' abs. Let's go. Now if you've made it this far, good on you. You're a frickin' warrior. You are going to get incredibly strong, flexible and powerful in your body. Now the final exercise that I'm going to show you is to build up the core. And what we're going to do is we're going to set the rings up as high as they can go again, similar to how I had them set up for the pull-up and the chin-up. All right, now I've got the ring set up nice and high, and with this movement, I'm gonna focus on tucking the tailbone and bringing my knees up towards my chin to really engage the core. So I'm gonna show you what this looks like. Hanging from the rings, like so, I'm gonna bring the knees up towards my chin, and I'm gonna really control my legs on the way back down. This is a pretty challenging one. This is one that I encourage you to really go a little bit easy on, especially if you're a complete beginner. You don't want to arch your lower back. You want to tuck that tailbone underneath as though you're coming into this posterior tilt. And you want to make sure that that position is maintained throughout. Otherwise, you're going to compress your spine and your low back. And you don't really want to do that. You don't want to extend through the low back. You want to keep everything nice and tight. So I'll go through a couple more reps again to show you what it looks like. And again, train within a range that you can and slowly increase that range of motion as you get stronger. All right, team, this wraps up today's video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for training with me. And as always, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'll be personally answering those. And if you've enjoyed this approach to training, if you appreciate a natural and holistic approach to healing, health, and vitality, and you appreciate conscious relationships, living with purpose, building an online business that gives you the freedom to travel, to live anywhere in the world and have a positive impact in the world, then you will love my school community. And right now it is free. It's going to be free for the first 50 members. After that, it's going to become a monthly paid subscription. But if you get in there within the first 50 members, as a founding member, you will have lifetime access completely free. On the inside, we're having live weekly group coaching calls. There's an awesome community in there. I think we've already got about 30 members in there right now. So jump in while it's still free. I'll see you on the inside. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.